Hello, everyone. Welcome
Hello,
to another
everyone, and
episode
welcome
of the Capcom Podcast.
Capgun Podcast. Did you want to say more words that I can repeat? Or
I'm Cameron.
I'm Cameron. I'm Justin. That was a
Okay.
joke, everyone.
It's so funny.
On the
So-
episodes that's just the two of us, we get a little wacky around
A
here.
little crazy.
We'll calm it down a bit for you, though. Yeah.
How, Justin? So here's the thing. I don't know if you know this. Have you met up with Anthony yet since last episode?
No, tell me more. Okay, yeah, lay it on
It
me.
was your birthday just recently. So
That
happy
meaning-
belated birthday.
Oh, thank you. And meaning also the anniversary of the podcast. Wow, because that started on my birthday.
Did it really?
Yeah, you chose Nimona Day on February 4th, and
I forgot about that. Jeez. All right. Oh yeah. Is that why we did that? Because you were. I don't remember. It's been a year. It's been over a year. Can you believe that this podcast is a year old?
so you agree that the podcast started a year ago, and not with what you call season 1 for some reason. That has nothing to do with the rest of the podcast.
Okay. The new podcast started a year ago.
New era of
New era.
podcasting is here. We are advanced podcasters.
It's been a great year of podcasting. I do gotta say, we've had a fun time.
I think all my best Capgun podcast memories have happened within the last year, except for some of the season 1 memories too. But like the good stuff. That's
Good
what's been happening as of late.
You know, we've been getting better and better from here, and that's how this works. Yeah, craziness ensues, I guess. So anyway, Anthony was supposed to bring by your birthday presents.
I have birthday presents. That's great. Okay, wow, golly. Well, I could just picture them. That's what counts, you know.
Well, picture
Okay.
the tumbler, and so we have the coffee cup and the water
That
tumbler.
Tumblr. Oh, okay.
No, not that tumbler.
Imagine Tumblr, and I'm like, whoa, okay.
Whoa,
I do
okay.
love Tumblr.
But with your name on it and everything. So
Oh my God.
you now have a set for yourself.
That's awesome. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
So happy birthday. I guess because Anthony has his, I have mine, you have yours, and then Seb will get his at his birthday. And same thing with Leo.
What's coming to him? Yes.
Yes.
Really.
But speaking of which, last 2 weeks, what have you been up to? What
I
have you
knew
been
you'd ask
doing?
such a question.
What?
What
As
have
if
I
we've been
been
doing
doing?
this every single episode.
Last 2 weeks have been definitely buckling down, getting some work done, kind of period. I can't say anything too crazy has been happening, but we did get some filming done on a very special project, very special Capcom project.
Someone's back. Someone is back. And I talked about it on my story yesterday, actually, funny enough.
On Instagram? That's
on
crazy.
Instagram. I even tagged Justin, and he must have not checked Instagram in the past 24 hours, like 12 hours.
Oh, they have not.
because-
So no, I'll get right on that.
But yeah, do you want to take it away, Justin? Talk about what you're kind of alluding to.
Oh, we're allowed to talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is a podcast exclusive. Like, this is like, wow. Well, if anyone's oh gosh, don't. If anyone's a big fan of the hit Mr. Otterson's what was it called? Mr. Otterson explains the Oscar. What's it called?
I think it's the Otter Otterson's Guide to the 2021 Oscars.
Guide to the 2021 Oscars. Well, let's just say it ain't 2021 no more.
What? Here's the worst part about this. I have told you for years I want to do another one, and I don't know if resisted is the right word, but you've conveniently not had the time every single year.
I mean, like, it just feels like, yeah, I'm a busy person. What can I say? I'm always doing something. But like, I guess the majority of the work for Mr. Otterson 2025 was done in under 24 hours on my end. So we'll have another one before the upcoming Oscars. And let me just say, I thought that this one went pretty well, which is how
Yeah.
well I thought the last one went.
Better or worse than 2021?
It's a little more focused, and I don't know if that's a problem or not.
We'll figure it out. We'll see.
It's silly.
Well,
Like
that's all it is.
it's
Like,
it's
I was
less
talking
it's
about.
less spontaneous in because actually we had a debate the other day of like how improvised was the first one, and then you said, Justin, you told me it was very improvised, and I said no, it was definitely written out. And I went back to it the other day. I'm like, oh, there's like nothing on the script here. I guess it did kind of improvise a lot of it.
My favorite,
But this time it was like
still,
entirely written out ahead of time. What were you gonna
my
say?
favorite bit is still the yes, this is a Mr. Otterson comeback. Hopefully,
It's a
if we
Mr.
can get Justin to
comeback
like
show,
commit
Mr.
every single year,
I got,
then we'll do Otterson
you
guys
should just
every
start
single
over.
year.
I've just been talking over you this whole time. I got into a musical moment here.
I would no, because Scribble 625 was saying I asked him if it's a comeback. I'm like, yes, it is, and hopefully it's a yearly comeback. But we need to pressure Justin to keep doing Otterson every single year, because I feel it's a funny bit.
Do you know
And
how much I stuff I'm doing? I'm kidding.
you're telling me you can't take a 24 hours every single, like a literal 24 hours of work on your end.
I watched a movie for the podcast, then I showed up for the podcast. We have another thing that I'm going to spend 48 hours on with you.
37 hours. We'll get to that in a moment. What was I? Oh yeah. My favorite bit, because I haven't watched the footage yet. I literally all I did so far was sync the audio track with the video.
Does it sync all the way through? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because you only gave me one file. Because you gave me one 45-minute file.
Like, the file format, it starts like slowly fall out of sync over time. You got it covered. You're an expert. I know.
I'll figure it out. Anyway, if that's not the case, then I know what I have to do for that. Because then you have two different bit rates for the video and audio. That's the reason why that happens, by the way.
I've been trying to figure that out for years. Anyway.
The only reason I know that is because for a video that's coming out this Friday, which I cannot talk about. That being said, check back on the channel for this Friday, having to do with my next film. We had someone do the audio cleaning for that track, and the audio was out of sync because the bit rate was off. So the bit rate kept screwing up. So that's how I know that. So if that's the case, I'm going to send it over to Seb real quick and be like, hey, can you like check the bit rate or export it for me, please? Anyway, what I've been trying to say, my favorite Otterson bit from 21 is and will always be the sound of metal.
I was rewatching Otterson yesterday. I forgot all the bits.
There are so many iconic moments in that short, from the father just being a character, to what was it? The promising young something Black Messiah. I forget what you like. Put 3 movies into one because you stopped trying towards the end.
Might have happened again. It doesn't matter.
Where you have a Bluetooth headset that's only like a USB-C
of the something.
But and then there's the sound of metal, and I literally played that out loud in a train this morning.
For those who don't know, and it sounds like the one person commenting does know, Mr. Otterson is a little video that we did way back that we should throw a link to somewhere. But that's a silly little video where a cute little otter plush little pal tells you all you need to know about the Best Picture nominees for the upcoming Oscars. And believe me, when I say all you need to know, it's all you need to know.
Voiced by Justin. I do the editing, which is the only reason I got to do this video in the original video in the first place. Because I don't know if you remember this. This was like height COVID, like the second or third lockdown of COVID. And basically what happened was I was like, Justin, I'm gonna go crazy. We need to do something. Let's do something for the Oscars. And then you made a voice, as you always do.
I do a lot of voices in our little meetings to kind of just avoid talking anything
then
serious.
You had the otter plush toy.
I'm Mr. Utterson, and I
And
love
then
you,
that's how
Cameron.
the
Mwah, mwah,
and then if I remember
mwah, mwah,
correctly, it was
mwah.
quote
I love you,
Cameron.
Cameron. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Cameron, give me 3 weeks, I will get something to you.
Mwah,
And
mwah,
then I gave you 3 weeks, and it was random footage behind a green screen of Otterson just saying random things. And this is what's happened now, and I'm excited to bring it up again.
I kind of wish
To
you
bring
saw
it
the
back.
footage just so that I could like get your vibe. I have no idea if it could all be garbage. I don't know.
I'm gonna go through it after the episode today, and then you're gonna get my live reaction. Like a live play-by-play.
This is crazy. Oh my god.
Because the only thing that I've listened to just for singing purposes is the original is the first section, the intro, which I already know because I was there when we wrote that.
Yeah, intro's
So.
roughly the same. I cut a couple lines, but mostly all the same there. Awesome. Anything else going on in your day-to-day little life
point for
and
Justin
and
for
things for
Otterson.
the future and things for the past and the
Well,
right
I'm at the
now?
Berlin Film Festival. Not right now in this very moment, but I've been going to movies and stuff. I was actually at a movie this afternoon. So if you guys are interested in seeing what kind of movies I am watching, as I do every single year, I am doing a story, an Instagram story, just ticker thing on Instagram on Cameron Spector Official. So if you want to see what movies I'm watching, what I'm recommending, how the vibe is, it's like there's snow on the ground out here, which is really bad because you can't walk when there's snow and ice on the ground properly. Nor can you use an
Wear
e-scooter.
those shoes with spikes on them at the bottom.
But nor can you use an e-scooter if you realize you went to the wrong venue and the fastest way to get there is by scooter. So you now fall on your butt because the scooter like doesn't brake properly, and so you basically get screwed over. Yeah. So yeah. So and then what other thing? I'm watching Oscar films. I don't know. I only have like 4 or 5 films left, so I should be done by the time I'm in because I'm coming to the U.S. not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday. By the time I'm in the U.S., I would have watched all of them. And I can't wait for our little Oscar live stream that we're going to be doing on Sunday night on March 2nd.
That's another thing we're doing. See, you can't say that we're only doing 37 hours of stuff that weekend when we're also.
But that is 37. The Oscars is during that 37 hours. We're gonna have a blast. Anyway, that
but
being
I'm gonna
said,
be sleeping the rest of the 48 hours. So like,
fair. We got a movie this week.
Whoa! Shoot! Where'd that come from?
The graphics, you know how this works.
Yes, dude.
You want to take us through this movie and what it's about? Because you're so good at doing that.
Shoot, it's not so narrative. Well, I mean, it's not a. Well, let me tell y'all, Fire of Love is a beautiful documentary about I was never sure how to pronounce it exactly. Volcanologist, volcano studiers. But you see, yeah, you dive into this world of you have this couple that falls. Okay, so how do we get here? How did we get here? So we get a little backstory on how two people with a deep love for volcanoes and also there's geology and chemistry kind of elements, how they found love for each other, but are they more in love with each other or the volcanoes? Stay tuned. That's not what the movie's asking at all. But that's a big debate.
The thinker right there. That's what you just did. You did a thinker.
Do you like looking at volcanoes going and people being like, wow, we love this? Stay tuned for Fire of Love. Not one of my sharpest little things here, but it's not exactly a traditional narrative format.
That's true. But I mean, it's a doc, right? We have not done that many docs in the podcast, which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do a documentary. And Justin, I think it was you that suggested you wanted to do past lives,
Right.
And we were talking about doing like a whole like February of like love kind of thing.
February of love, baby.
And
Yeah,
so
that's great. Yeah.
I saw this documentary and was like, this is supposed to be a great documentary, which I thought it was a very good documentary. And I just said, let's do that. And my
Mhm.
camera's out of focus. I don't know why. Now we're in focus. Cool. I love when that happens. I don't know what kind of, I don't know. I really thought about this for like an hour and a half now. Is it anything spoiler worthy? I think there's only one thing that's spoiler worthy in quotes.
There is something that is one of the most interesting things that in the movie that gets you go huh? is something that's presented within the first 10 minutes, probably a little earlier than that,
Is it?
where they kind of let you know how the story is going to end towards the
Right.
beginning.
Okay. So the end is, I forget that they do mention that at the beginning what happened, how they ended up in the end.
But in terms of how we go about the spoiler label, I always think that the best thing is we both give our general experience with the movie, or general vibe of the movie, not exactly a rating because that's at the end, but like an approximation of where we land on the movie. And if people wanted to watch the movie, they know whether we recommend it or not. And then we move to spoilers. But
I would say this movie is very informative about volcanoes.
wow. Oh, that's exciting. Wow, that's cool. No, that's
I thought it's no, like, but I feel like it does it well. Like it doesn't feel like it's two separate films where it's like, oh, this is about volcanoes and this is about their lives. It's like it's layered, like the earth, like the plates that make the volcano.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? I'm making bad jokes today. Someone's got to do Seb's job. Someone's got to do Seb's job when he's not here.
It's not my job or something. Well, okay.
No, because you're loving and endearing.
Oh my gosh.
Don't forget, everyone.
Golly.
I will never forget this moment where basically everyone agreed that you are the passenger princess of the group.
I don't even remember what that means, but thank you. It sounds nice.
You are also not of complete mind when all of us had this discussion at my birthday party last year.
Okay, wasn't on the podcast. Got it.
No, it wasn't on the podcast.
Of complete Cameron, I'm always. I'm a bit of a partier.
I just feel like it's very well, like, because it's Nat Geo, you expect some sort of like interwoven like factualness to it, I would say, and I feel like this film does it very well. So, that's my only point.
And that's the Cameron experience.
What's
asking
the
about
Justin
my experience?
What is the Justin experience?
Oh my gosh, I'm really glad you asked. Well, I forgot what the movie was about before I clicked on it. I didn't know much going in, besides what Cameron here mentioned. And I hit play, and within like the first few seconds, I went, oh, "Damn it! It's a documentary." I've seen good documentaries. Let me be clear. They're just not like what I'm on this earth for. You.
Fair.
Hello and good day to Jacqueline Spector. But that said, I am a sucker for love. I love love. It's pretty cool, I guess. So and what you're following in this movie is a very, very cute couple who has this incredible passion for what they do, and for each other, and then like it's infectious, but also like I wish we got even more into like their thinking on all this, and part of it's the intrigue of us never having those exact answers, but like they also become filmmakers, they also become TV personalities in order to get this message across of what they're finding to be important about volcano safety and information. they need to transform themselves, or at least mold themselves into these personalities that can get info out there. It's really, really intriguing in that way. So I was caught up in the movie fairly early on.
Sure.
I guess we'll save the stuff about how the movie
And
concludes for the spoiler section, but I guess despite it being a documentary, I had a good time,
you
and
did write a
volcanoes were
letterbox review. I actually was
pretty.
waiting for your letterbox review on this because I didn't know how you were going to respond,
I've
but
been
you never.
I'm like 15 movies behind on Letterboxd. I gotta
I'm
catch
like
up.
2.
But
One
really,
actually, because I
not
had
I
a
mean
bro.
not just for the Capcom, but I see other movies too. I mean, just in
No, like,
general.
but I try to review them as soon as I can, like, or
Me?
else I forget.
Are we
No,
talking about you or talking about me?
I said I'm only like 1 behind. I
Oh,
watched a movie today that I need to. You're
okay.
15 movies behind?
Something
Jeez.
like that. I saw a lot of movies on planes, and like I'm not gonna letterboxed up there, and then I'm busy. I'm doing this thing and this thing, and now
I guess.
there's a pile up. It's like you got to do it all at once. That's a lot. That's a lot.
I guess.
Uh,
I
but now that we've established that movie good, do you want to?
I want to say one more thing about this before we go into the
Okay. Oh,
spoiler,
another
because I feel like this is
thing.
interesting context in that because there's a lot of interesting ways to make a documentary, but I thought the style of this film was so interesting. The
Mhm.
like using their own footage like as the
Right.
main footage and then having a narrator go over that and kind of explain what's happening, I felt was a very interesting choice and I didn't think it was going to work. Like when I when because in the opening title was the whole it's like a whole opening title bit where it's like starring the two and then cinematography by them and friends,
Right.
right? And then like I thought, oh, this is not going to work as well as I thought it was.
Based on the opening.
Based on that opening, because I thought, well, you're just reusing footage and then you're just going to narrate over it. Well, this is going to kind of just feel like a commentary that sounds a little stale, but it was so well. I felt it was very well done how they did that and very creative how they did that. With that, spoilers. Do you want to
Oh,
say it or should I?
say it again. Yeah.
Do you want to say it or I say it? They die in the end.
Okay, so how the movie introduced this concept is fairly early into the movie. It's probably the most like whoa kind of line that they have. Because otherwise it's a fairly what are you laughing about? What is the comedy? Where is the joke? Point for Cameron for having a good time. But point on the board, Cameron.
I don't know. But I just said that, and then you like were taken aback by me saying that.
I can do any little thing and whatever. The thing is, I always forget that I do things like that. And I think back, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that did happen. But like, my mentality is, I'll do a bit, I'll say some nonsense, and then I'm not expecting anyone to like it. I just move on to the.
I don't know why it got me as hard as it did. It just like hit me, and I was like, wait, why? Why is this so funny to me? And then I died. I was like, well, this is it. This is how I go. Anyway, I'm sorry. I was interrupting, which is why I muted myself, by the way, because like
I couldn't even tell. I thought you were just silently laughing.
no, that was I put myself on mute. I was like, I don't want to interrupt you. Please go ahead.
Oh well, Karen, that's so sweet of you. OMG. What was I talking? Okay, so what they what they say during one of the interviews, they're talking about an expedition that they're going to go on. I believe the line is something along the lines of like, this will be the last day. Oh no, tomorrow will be their last day, or something to that effect. That tomorrow will be their final adventure. Tomorrow will be. And then you stand up and you go, what? That's scary. They're so happy and jokey and friend, they're having a good time here. And you're telling me tomorrow's their last little day on this earth? I gotta watch this movie on normal speed instead of double speed. I would never watch a
forget
movie like that.
you and
I've
Seb
never done
watched
that.
this- I forget that you and Seb watch the podcast films in double speed.
I don't. What are you
Oh,
on
you
about?
don't? Okay. No, because Seb does that every once in a while.
Wait,
He
watches
just like
this podcast in double speed?
no, the movie that we
No.
watch.
I've never watched any Capcom movie on double speed. When would I have watched? I've done that with like podcasts, but
Oh, I guess. Okay.
That's if I'm trying to speed through something. I wouldn't do that with a cinematic experience, Cameron. This is fire
Good.
of love here. I
Good.
need the shots of a volcano erupting to last 30 minutes each.
30 minutes.
Sometimes it felt like that, but that's okay because that's how volcanoes do. Not everything's just. Sometimes things are more like.
You know it.
You know?
You're just so smart. Justin, you just know.
How many points does that get me?
We'll put you at 1 point because then you're at 20 points. And then quite literally, I believe I need to now put all the names like towards the edge now because you've gotten so many points that you're starting to hit my magnets on the right-hand side.
You can't just decide how many points I get based off how many points I already have. If I deserve 5 points right now, you can't just say,
No,
that's it, Justin. You already have so many.
So,
it doesn't work that way.
The next person isn't even here today.
All right. Pretend. Okay. Picture in your head right now. Anthony's right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he deserves a point. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
But he's not here, so you should give it to me instead.
I'd like to point out you're the reason why I started this bit, and now it's gotten more out of hand than I thought it was going to.
Out of hand? Doing this little mark on the board's out of hand?
No,
now?
the fact that we've now spent 2 minutes talking about points in the middle of reviewing our movie.
I'm going to be honest, Cameron. I think it's a great movie. I wasn't going to say a lot about it anyway. I'm usually the one who goes, really? We're moving on to rating the movie now? There's just so much to talk about. And I'm like, movie good. It's a documentary. These are real people. It's not really a like, like, there's not like a dramatic propulsion in the movie. What is good about this movie is you get to see the evolution of how now, and I'm going to talk about the movie, how their interest works, because you start in this place. Yeah, you start in this place of what? I have no idea what you're saying.
Go ahead, you.
Hi, Scribbles. Scribbles is talking to you, by the way.
Here's the thing. Whose board is this? Whose board is this? Who's right? This is my board. This is my board. I get to put points on board. So if I'm complaining to myself. I am very well aware of how this looks and that this is the board that's here and no one else can change that. So yes, I'm jealous because I find Justin to be such an amazing person that I keep giving him points.
Well, thank you. Golly. Oh, God. Well.
So.
All right. Point for Seb.
Okay. So yes, I understand. Anyway, go ahead, Justin.
What were we talking about?
I'd like to point. Wait, this is the most views we've had in like a couple of episodes, like live.
Really?
And it is the off the rails episode, as it always is when the two of us are on.
I mean,
it's
just us two. It's extra silly,
Always.
I don't have to like have this thing in the back of my brain where I'm like, take it back, Justin. Let other people say things, and then when someone says something smart, you say something stupid, and I go, "That's a good thinker, brain." Anyway, okay. So, evolution of this relationship is really cute because you start with, well, I always wanted to see big hole in ground explode with hot rocks, and then the other person goes, "Wow, I feel the same." And so it starts in more in a like, yes, they're into the science of it all, but it's more of like a, wow, I need to experience this. I want to be a part of this part, element of the world, far away from humans and that nonsense. This is nature. This is grand. But then it slowly morphs into, well, how can we advance study on this? How can we? And then, like, by the end, it's really turned into the devastation that the volcanoes could bring. How can we mediate it? How can we teach, educate the public? And you hit this really beautiful point at the end of the movie where we get past, not to reference our previous film, but we get past their lives, and
Very different context of those words, but yes.
And then people are saved by what they have taught, and they left a beautiful impact on the earth, just like how the volcanoes, this is not actually said in the movie, but like how volcanoes erupt and create new land formations, especially if they're like starting at sea, and it's this beautiful thing where it's for generations to come they'll be affected, but they weren't around to see it, kind of vibes, which is always heartbreaking. I was so sad by the end of this movie, baby.
I was very sad. Here's the thing. I was in a cafe
No way.
watching this film as I was waiting for friends. Like, I basically got to the cafe like 3 hours early to watch this movie before I was supposed to meet up with people, because I was like, I have nothing to do. And I knew I was meeting up with people, so I had to kind of plan. Anyway, I was very affected by this film too, and I didn't think I was going to be affected as much as I was.
Mhm.
And because of that, I was tearing up in the middle of a cafe as my friends were. It's a beautiful film. I also feel like this idea of like the two of them lived until they gave everything they could and passed on all the information, and that's when they die, is like such a poetic moment.
They lived just long enough to make that impact.
Like, they fulfilled their destiny, and then that's it. Like, it's such a beautiful
It is kind of
thought.
wild.
Like, they save they save people from the volcano that they died from.
It's
Like,
poetic.
but that's also great storytelling in the fact that like they were able to build up to that, right?
Right.
Something that I sometimes have issues with documentaries is when you don't put a through line into your docs.
Mhm.
Like, I was watching one today actually, which very beautifully shot, very beautifully made, but it's just so hard. Like, it was tough to keep your attention on it because the through line kind of was missing. And I feel like when you're able to create a great through line for a documentary, you're able to tell a great story, even if it isn't the way that you and I usually tell stories, right? Like, very differently, but still very well done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, whether you're making, something out of fiction or reality, there's there's always consistent ways to engage an audience.
That being said, if you guys have a documentary that you want to suggest to us, we're going to announce middle of this week, the next set of films, which I'm really excited for. We have some really cool films coming up.
I have no idea what the next set of we should do we talk about that already? What's next?
No, you and I have spoken about this.
Oh, we have.
I put the list of films in the group chat, in our little group chat.
Oh, I do remember these. We have that is quite the okay.
We're all over the place.
Jeffrey Spector brings up an excellent point, Cameron. We should
different viewpoints make things
good.
Make things good. But I think it's also different.
You agree,
in this sense of like different perspectives and different ways of telling stories. The idea that there are only like 6 basic storytelling like plots in all of the universe, like you can like plot every single story and it will fall in one of 6 ways. I think it is.
I can break that. I decided.
You can break that. You say there aren't only 6 ways to tell stories.
Yeah, I don't really remember what those 6 are, but I feel like there's gotta 7 natural wonders of the world, Cameron. Come on. I think we can find a 7th one.
But that being said, right, like I feel like documentaries can do a really good job of telling stories as long as you can keep that through line, and this film did that so well, and you're able to create a film. By the way, if you want to watch it, it is a National Geographic film. You can go watch it on Disney Plus no matter where you live, because Disney owns National Geographic, therefore they own all of Nat Geo stuff on their streaming service, Disney Plus. Yeah, I don't know. I do you have anything else that you'd like to mention about this film?
Well, one thing that I really liked about it is this is me trying to tee myself up to think of something else.
Perfect.
I love that we made a filmmaker. I mix the words up. I like that we watched a little film about little filmmakers. And you know, it's a very interesting exploration of kind of the natural energy that comes from the base existence of storytelling and wanting to get messages across, and how they slowly morph to engage their audience with their film. I talked about it a little bit earlier, but like movie is fascinating. But not much else to say on my end. It's just a feelsy experience. And sometimes I found volcanoes erupting really cool, and sometimes I went, maybe I'm more like, Katria, and I like the little things a little bit more though than the grandiose.
Isn't it funny though that we've now reviewed 2 films this like quarter of this first quarter about like about like people that make films? Like I find that to be very interesting.
That's true. You know how Hollywood is, always making stuff about itself, Not exactly the case here.
Neither of these were Hollywood films, but here we are. But I think that being said, it is time.
You don't mean
to
rate that movie.
If anyone ever wants to do a compilation of all of the Rate That movies,
let us know in the comments. Were we in sync?
We were not in sync.
Were we in sync?
Justin,
you might not know your end, Cameron, because it took a few minutes for your stuff from your video from Germany to get all the way to the internet.
Insane! You're insane. You know that? You're insane.
It's in the name. Don't think about what I just said. Okay, so I rate this movie whatever Cameron rates this movie.
Okay, go on. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, that's what I was gonna maybe give.
No, it wasn't, because you never take this seriously, and I actually put a lot of thought.
Well, a 7 looks kind of like a volcano. It has a little point. It goes,
Before we go on,
you kind of have to tilt the 7 a little bit.
Before we go on to that, the next thing, I'm excited to show this.
Look, I'm as excited as you are to show this, but I feel like we're really breezing past this. This is like the 7th type of story, the one where you find out that a 7's like a volcano. Like, and I feel like we're breezing past. I feel like we're really breezing past this narrative here. We found the 7 story, and it happens to be about a 7. What are the odds? That's not how I wanted that to sound.
It happens to be about a 7?
Well, yeah, the 7th type of storytelling that we've discovered is based in this story that we've just laid out about the number 7. That happens to look like
a film that goes up and then goes down.
It goes up and it goes down.
Isn't that like the original story? Isn't that like a story theme.
I don't
I
know
feel like
them,
that.
but like I don't. This is different. This is different than anything I've seen. So it's got to be in a different bucket. You know, it can't be one of those old 6 buckets. This is a new bucket. You know what I mean? A bucket of stories. You ever see a bucket before?
You enjoying yourself, Justin?
We can move on. Take the pain away, Cameron, please.
Justin, you know I love you. I just don't know how to sometimes. You know, I love your banter so much. I just don't always know how to respond. What are you doing? Wom, 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 wom.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Since you mentioned the next couple of episodes, here's our schedule for next couple months.
Whoa, this is the first time anyone's ever seen this. This is crazy. Wow. So for those who are wondering, the CAPGUNPODCAST at the top, like it like the first letters, you know, you could do like the acronym CGP for the podcast, which is why the letters are big and bold like that. Is that the main thing you wanted to show them, or
I wanted to show the movies that we're going to be watching, which
lower,
is the thing lower.
list.
Yeah, the list.
Okay.
I believe, was Scott Pilgrim yours, Justin?
No.
No. I know Ultraman Rising was.
I pitched Ultraman Rising. I've been wanting to watch Ultraman Rising. But
what?
So upcoming movies are Annie Hall, which I've definitely heard the name of before.
Woody Allen film won Best Picture. It's going to be our Oscar episode,
which I hear is old. Scott
original one from the 30s.
I I thought the movie was solid, but I love the show. A Minecraft movie? Is that what it's called? A Minecraft movie? No, there's no way it's called a Minecraft movie.
It's called a Minecraft movie. I looked this up multiple times.
It's just called Minecraft, right?
Nope.
What the heck? You're right. Since when?
Since always.
Minecraft movie? That's bananas. Then we have The Boys and the Boats. Like this is like a crossover movie if I've ever heard of one. We have Juno, and we have Ultraman Rising, which kind of makes it sound like this is going to be a franchise of movies, but I don't know if it ever got a sequel. But I'm glad he's rising. Congratulations, Ultraman. Ultraman Rising came out the same day as Inside Out 2, which is why not many people saw Ultraman Rising.
What?
That's true. Did I say Inside Out or Inside Out 2? Because it's 2.
You said Ultraman came out the same day that Ultraman Rising came out.
Oh, dang it. Ultraman Rising and Inside Out 2. I knew I said something wrong, but I was completely off.
Didn't realize what. Okay. I just want to show that because yay.
Wow, everyone. Think about all the movies we're going to talk about. Like, now you could write a fanfic about this podcast using one of the future films. And then you could compare and see if how you wrote us to act and wrote our opinions to be matches up with the final results of when the podcast comes out. I look forward to your Cap Gun fanfics. And let's just say we do endorse shipping of real life people.
You did do a really great transition there. That was
it was intentional.
Was really I know it was intentional, but you did that really well.
It wasn't intentional. I was just thinking about shipping separately from the fact that we were supposed to talk about shipping. I should have taken credit for it, but I'm not good at lying.
Well, anyway, Justin, you nailed that transition. That was totally intentional, and you never accidentally did that.
Yeah, I'm a little vague. Who do we ship, Cameron? Who do we ship? What's the premise of the thing that you came up with as a
I
premise
was
for this little Capgun
the
podcast.
premise is, who do we ship? Which two characters in
Just reading the thing at the
the
bottom.
film universe do we
Mhm.
ship? Like, just two characters from two different franchises, two different films, people that would have never met each other ever. Who do we
So
ship?
Cameron comes to me, right, and says, Justin, we're doing cross ships, baby. Do you get pick two characters from two separate movies we've never met before, and we're making them kiss. And I said,
The
that's
worst
a
part
great
about this
idea,
is
Cameron.
I
Let's
forgot.
make them kiss.
I forgot to think of a couple. So
You asked me like 3 times if I thought of one myself.
yep.
What are you on about? What? For a podcast that only has 2 people.
I did in fact nail it.
I can't do this anymore. Okay. I'm going to give you 2 movies. No, okay. You think of a movie in your head, I think of a movie in my head. We're going to say the movies at the same time, and then you need to pick up on a ship from those combined
From
movies.
those 2 films? All right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let me think. Nope, that would be weird. That movie would be weird.
You have 5 seconds.
Okay. Got it.
3, 2, 1.
Grand
Whiplash.
Budapest. Can I have J.K. Simmons, this character,
Terrence
with
Fletcher?
with Willem Dafoe's character, please, who was the hitman for the family?
Yeah.
Whose mother died.
They're both very, he's from a very intense
work.
line of work, and Fletcher is just a very intense person.
Yeah,
I think it's a match made in heaven. Everyone
It would-
applause
it
for
would-
Cameron for
it would
making
make
them
everything
kiss.
great. All right, Justin.
You should
This-
Photoshop that into like a thing,
Please don't.
Make it look like they're like on a
No.
cute little date together. Maybe they're
No.
killing someone. I don't know.
No. Justin, who let's do the same thing for you, eh?
Well, I'll have you know that I just decided to take 2 movies that I quite like and do the exact same thing where I'm like, okay, I'm just narrowing it down to 2 movies. Let's see who we who we could pluck from those movies. I threw a few into a randomizer, and I got Groundhog Day and Back to the Future. So let me introduce you to this time duology in which we have Phil trapped in time, who meets the master of time, Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Crazy old man meets stubborn, younger to middle-aged man. And let me tell you, they do find a fire of love. Phil, we have to go back to the tomorrow, the day after this cycle of Doc, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in the little circle of time. Well, maybe you gotta just do something. You just gotta do something that you've never done before. Like what haven't you done before in this circle of time to help you break out of this time circle? Well, Doc Brown, I realized the one thing I haven't done is fall in love with you. Great Scott! And then they kiss, and then they break free from the time circle, and then go on time travel adventures for the rest of time. This is heavy. Neither of them say that, but like that's from Back to the Future. I could.
That's beautiful. Art.
And there's a groundhog.
Jeez.
So, vote in the comments whose ship is the
Justin's ship is
remaining-
100% better. I like how we both went with like the non-conforming in any way two personalities that should not be together.
Listen, Phil needs some guidance in life, and Doc loves being a mentor figure, you know? And I think Phil just needs to be taught how to be a good person, you know
What
what I mean?
if? Here's my next suggestion for a ship. We do Riley from Inside Out, like Inside Out 2 Riley, not Inside Out 1
Okay.
Riley, with the boy from Moonrise Kingdom.
Okay. I feel like Riley's
That's
a
a
lot
fun.
more mature than that kid, but I get what you mean. Okay. That's
What
interesting.
would you say? Who was a lot more mature?
Riley's definitely the mature one in that scenario.
Yeah, but also so is the girl in Moonrise.
Okay, fair enough. You're just all about the Wes Anderson.
I love Wes Anderson. You know that about me. Let me think. Let me think of another one. I'm gonna take two
Okay,
films
Peter-
from.
okay, yeah.
I'm gonna take two Oscar-nominated films because I have the list in front of
Two.
me,
Okay.
and I'm going to put them together. With that, we have Bob Dylan, played by Timothy Chalamet, mixed with the Lisai Al-Qaib himself, Paul Atreides, played by Timothy Chalamet.
That rocks. Okay. So that's
What-
it's
what a
like
combo.
it's like a Timothy Central, baby.
Timothy Central, baby.
No,
Or how
that's
about-
fascinating. I haven't seen Complete Unknown, but or
I'm
Dune
seeing it on
2.
Saturday. I'm seeing it next week.
Well, but I, as Mr. Otterson, do educate you on those films, and I hope you're looking forward to it.
Also, how about the alien from Alien Romulus, like the child alien?
Sure,
Uh,
Cameron,
it's
you
based-
have not actually brought up a movie yet. Out of all this in this entire segment that I have seen, not a single one. I haven't
the fact that
seen.
you haven't seen a single Wes Anderson film makes me sad.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, I have seen Moonrise. Actually, I forgot you
You
mentioned.
didn't see Grand Budapest, but
I
you've
didn't see
seen
Grand
Moonrise.
I saw Moonrise.
And you saw
I
Inside Out.
and I saw Isle of Dogs. Grow up. There's a lot of movies out there. Have you seen all my favorite movies? What's your opinion on Who Framed Roger Rabbit, huh?
How about a ship
I would hear Cameron's opinions.
between Gromit,
Oh, from Wallace and Gromit, yeah.
correct,
Mhm.
and which dog do I use from Isle of Dogs? Now that let's do a
I
dog.
don't remember any of.
I know one of them's called
But
Spot.
that's if it was in theaters. When was it in theaters? 2017?
Years ago, like a couple years ago now. Yeah, it was before the pandemic.
2016.
I still lived in the
2018.
U.S. when it was nominated.
But Bill Murray was also in that, so
Bill
that's
Murray's is almost everything that Wes Anderson
isn't it
makes.
great? Point for someone.
I'll take it myself.
If I must give myself a point, I guess I'll do it.
Insanity. This show is insanity. I love it. I love it with every fiber of my being. What else? What else do we got?
I'm gonna ship the Ant-Man
Okay.
and Cameron Spector from Capgun
Appreciate it.
Productions. Would
Cute.
you-
Adorable.
I think you two would have a good time together.
Of course.
I'm not saying Paul Rudd. I'm saying the Ant-Man. For clarity, that way I'm not shipping 2 real life people, just 1. Oh, that's the best ship.
I don't know which one they're talking about
Your little
because
Ant-Man.
I don't remember how back in advance the text is, the chat is, so it could be like a minute ago.
No. This is about this.
This is
What
about
else
this?
would it be about?
How about Gromit from Wallace and Gromit and
the
Frankenweenie?
Ant-Man. Gromit from Wallace and Gromit and who?
Frankenweenie.
Okay. One is a little more
dead?
I was gonna go sentient in an intelligent sense, but
isn't Frankenweenie also sentient?
Like, I don't remember, but
how
I'm
about
sure
let's talk about bad guys?
Is a dog, and Gromit's a person dog. It's a little. I guess in that sense, Gromit could really walk between worlds. You know, like Gromit could end up on either side of the human to dog aisle, right? I mean, that's just
he's in the aisle of dogs
for dog people.
He's in the aisle of dogs. Sometimes I don't even know what's going on anymore. This show.
I think this show would. I think you would have a much better understanding and comprehension of what was going on here if you had a little help and guidance from a little Ant-Man who would just like hang out with you all day and like stand on his shoulder.
In my earmuff as we have the podcast.
That's really cute. Or at least if you had like a cowboy hat on with like an antenna under the hat, like sticking out of your head, and we could like feed you information. I am referencing SpongeBob. Thank you for asking.
These Scribbles, thank you.
Yay for Scribbles!
For that kindness.
Yay for the podcast! Yay for joy!
We have a great team here. I said this before because when we did
of all 5 of us that are here, and we're all here right now.
It's not only the 2 of us. I forget who this was. Someone had spoken about when we did Nightmare Before Christmas, their cosplay that they did with their partner.
Right. I vaguely remember this.
And they actually emailed me photos of the 2 of them, and I was like, "Well, this is so sweet,
magic." Oh, that's lovely.
And like, I love that kind of stuff. So like, it means so much for you guys to be listening, for you guys to be watching. We're just here having some fun, trying to, the podcast came back because I basically wanted to find an excuse to be able to chat with Anthony and with Justin on a regular basis.
You throw Seb in there too. I understand why you're leaving Seb out in this context. Just throw Seb in
I wanted Seb here because I think he's funny, but the original idea was, well, the 4 of us need to have chats more often because we all kind of fit together very well. And
in like a shipping sense or like a friendship. Okay.
Friendship, that kind of ship. Not the relationship, the friendship.
Right.
Correct. Yep. So
because we all have like really cool girlfriends.
There's so many levels of how that hurts.
What?
We'll talk later.
Noted.
But yeah, that being said, Justin, do you have any final shipping stuff that you want to bring in?
Yeah, no, I've been waiting for you to ask. Thank you. I think
that usually means you don't ask.
I really think it'd be great to get a really cool, exciting ship going between Peter Bailey from It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
And the little suction cup alien creatures from Arrival. I think Peter needs someone to really put him in his place. And big alien hand squishes him down, punches him a few times, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, Merry Christmas, yo, building and loan," you know what I mean, kind of thing. Like he needs to learn lessons the hard way, which is what happens in his movie, and those alien things like that teach you about this circular nature of time. Could then flood back to our first ship with Phil and Doc Brown because they're dealing with the same kind of issue.
That was our second ship, by the way.
That was my first ship. That was my first ever ship, Cameron. It was my special ship.
No,
that
it
was my
wasn't.
comfort ship. And you know what? I think that one still wins. Other than you and Ant-Man.
Folks,
Folks.
thank you so much for watching. I'm Cameron.
And I've been Cameron's little Ant-Man Justin.
And thank you, and we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Ow.
Goodbye. What did you hit?